All hospitals are not created equal. We hear a lot about rankings that are based on specialties, but what about all-around patient safety? A safety watchdog group just released new hospital safety scores, and Doctors Hospital in Sarasota was one of only 800 in the entire United States that got an A ranking. And here to tell us what to look for when it comes to patient safety, the most important thing of all, is Sherry Trinchetto from Doctors Hospital. Congratulations!
Congrats.
An A. We're so glad to have you in Sarasota. Yes, that's the most important thing, safety.
Absolutely.
So, what do we look for? What is an A
what
based
does the
on?
A mean? How
What
did
do you
get
mean
it?
you got an A?
We got an A. So Leapfrog rates hospitals an A to an F, depending on how well you meet certain criteria. So your infection rates. Do patients obtain infections in your hospital? Not do they come in with them, but do they actually get one in the hospital?
Yeah, that's not good. You can't
That's
go
not
to
good.
help and come out with something.
Right. What's your death rate? You know, do you have unexpected deaths? And if so, what is that rate? They also look at care, how well you take care of patients with certain disease processes, and are they doing everything they should do to meet the criteria? And then they look at readmissions. How are your readmissions? Do patients get taken well enough that they go home and they don't need to be readmitted?
So all the different factors that you wouldn't think of that are important about hospitals.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what should I ask if I'm checking on a hospital? What are the major questions to ask?
You want to know their infection rate. I would want to know, what is your infection rate? And if my infection rate is high, what are you doing? What are you doing about that? What are you aware your infection rate is high? And if so, what kind of processes do you have in place
And is that where
to
we hear
protect
about
me?
things like MRSA
Yes.
and things like that? Okay,
Yes.
because we hear those words a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
So MRSA is very common in the community. About 80% of the population probably has MRSA, but you don't want to come into the hospital without it and get it.
Yes.
So you want to make sure that your hospital has things in place to prevent that.
Okay, infection rate. What's the second one?
Core measures, which Medicare came up with a disease list, and they said these patients with these diseases are not being taken care of well. So based on the literature, they decided this is the way you need to take care of these patients. They need to get certain antibiotics because they work. They need to get an aspirin if you're having a heart attack. You need to get to the ER quickly and through the ER into the cath lab fast.
Yes.
So how well is all of that care
So
happening?
you were
yes.
found to do those things well.
We were.
Oh,
I like
that's such
that.
good news.
Very
And now
good.
there's another one. What's the third one we
And
should
the
ask
third
for?
one is effectiveness of care. So you come to the ER, you've all probably had an experience with some family member. You go to the ER and you wait and you wait and you wait. So how quickly does that hospital get a provider, either a mid-level like a nurse practitioner or a PA, or a physician to see you when you come in?
Oh, I certainly want to
So-
know that. How can we get the information?
There are two great websites. One is hospitalcompare.org, and you can go out to that hospital website and you can type in your zip code. So if you're going somewhere on vacation, you can actually type in your zip code for that area and find out what hospitals in the area.
Really?
You
That's
can compare
wonderful.
them.
So important to know.
So if we put in Sarasota and we typed in Doctors Hospital, it
All
would
of
tell
our
us.
Type in the zip code, it'll tell us to go to Doctor's
Yeah.
Hospital.
Well, it'll come up with Doctors Hospital, and then all the other hospitals within a certain mile radius of that zip code. And then you can choose based on the information
Based on the
that you found.
rankings.
Oh,
That's
that
great.
is so
So
good
you can
to
go
know.
to the one with the A versus another one. I like that.
Congratulations.
Thank
We
you.
love having an A in our community. We're
Thank
so
you.
lucky.
Very good.
And coming up, we're going to answer some of our viewers' emails.